All right, I am back. I apologize about that. The internet like crapped the bed on me there for some reason. I didn't even know if it was going to come back up. I was worried maybe it wasn't going to come back up, but it did. So we are going to try to finish this off. Back to whatever I was talking about here. I was talking about the Steelers, right? At 17, taking Broderick Jones. One second here, folks. All right, so yes, I was talking about the Steelers taking Broderick Jones instead of taking Joey Porter Jr. here. I could see them taking either guy, okay? Don't get me wrong. I could see them going Joey Porter Jr. here, and if I'm a Steelers fan, like I said, and which I am not. I am a Chiefs fan. I live in Kansas City. I live literally 20 minutes from where the draft is going to be taking place, okay? I've been a Chiefs fan my whole life. But if the Steelers took Porter instead of Jones, I'm still celebrating if I'm a Steelers fan. I would rather have Jones, though, because like I said, Najee Harris, he's 3.9, 3.8 rush yards a carry in the last 2 seasons, the only 2 seasons in which he's been in the NFL. Okay, he's under 4. At Alabama, the guy was running 5.5 or more every single season, which is like incredible. This offensive line is so bad in Pittsburgh. They need to add another piece here in the draft. Jones is the best guy out there after Darnell Wright and Johnson go out, are off the board. So this is who they take right here. They go get Broderick Jones. They bolster that offensive line. So Najee and Mike Tomlin, who wants to get the run back, implemented back into this offense the way it's always been. And this is how they do that. They go get Broderick Jones out of Georgia. Perfect fit. And then I'm loving Najee in fantasy at this point. So they go get him. 18, tight end, Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. That's who the Lions go get here. Since Bijan is off the board. I could still see Bijan going here, though. I'm telling you right now, if Philly doesn't take Bijan, okay? Let's just say you're watching the draft. Philly just made their pick. It wasn't Bijan. If I'm a Lions fan, I'm like, this guy's got to fall to us. I wouldn't see anybody else taking this guy, really. Green Bay's not going to take him. Patriots won't take him. That's not Belichick. I keep hearing and seeing things about Washington, but I just don't know, man. Doesn't make any sense to me. They just got Robinson last year. Or the other Robin. They would have 2 Robinsons in the backfield. But they just went and got, Brian Robinson out of Alabama, who's a good back. So I just don't see them taking Bijan here at 16, for the Washington Commanders. I think he could fall down to the Lions at 18 if he's still there, but he's not in this mock draft. Michael Mayer, they need a tight end so bad. Kincaid just came off the board, 15 to the Packers. Michael Mayer is the pick right here, okay? Michael Mayer is the pick right here. Bijan is gone. They need a tight end. They just traded Hawkinson to the Vikings last year. They don't know who their tight end is. Their tight end is somebody we don't even know. I think they were splitting time between like 3 guys last year after Hawkinson left. So they go get their tight end for the future. It's Michael Mayer. It's right here. All right, let's finish off 20. We'll finish off 20. We'll just put, the rest of them up here. 19, Joey Porter Jr. Here he is. Like I said, he didn't go to Pittsburgh at 17, so here he is, 19. Tampa Bay needs a defensive back. They need a quarterback. They need an edge guy too. So maybe Van Ness could fit into this mold here. Maybe somebody like Cansey. Maybe even a defensive back that's not, they need a safety, but I just don't think they take a safety here because Banks or Brian Branch is probably going to be the first guy off the board at safety. And I just don't see them taking him with this pick here because it's just a little too high. There's better guys out there, in my opinion. Branch is more of a second round guy, low, or I should say, yeah, low first round, high second round kind of guy. I don't see them taking him here. Maybe they trade this pick. Maybe they get something and trade it back. Who knows? But I don't think so. Looks like they got 2 5ths and 3 6th round picks as well. So, and then they got a 1st, 3rd, and a 7. So I think Porter Jr. is a good fit here. He's the best guy on the board at corner, and it's to me it'd be hard to pass up on this guy if I'm Tampa Bay. You got to think their secondary in general is getting kind of old. Okay, it's getting a little old. So, and you can never have enough of these guys at corner. So they go get him, best available. I think they go get him. 20 Seattle, Lucas Van Ness falls to these guys. You know, I've seen like, man, I've seen receiver here. People might ask why Flowers doesn't go here. I think Lucas Van Ness would be just too much to pass up on here. I think they double dip it at defense potentially here. It's possible. Do I think Flowers can be a good pick? Sure. I think it's really between him and probably the best defensive end who falls at 20. And if Lucas Van Ness is there, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for Seattle not to take him here. They're trying to bolster that defense for a reason. They go get Carter. They go get this guy. I mean, I think they do. I think they do. Maybe they do go get receiver. Maybe they do go get Zay Flowers. I had Zay Flowers in my mock 1 going to Seattle, so it wouldn't be a shock to me, and I wouldn't feel all that bad about it, But I think if Lucas Van Ness falls, which he does in this particular mock, it's going to be hard for them to pass up on this guy, in my opinion. So I think they take him here out of Iowa, and they ended up double dipping here at defense, and so there we go. 21, the Chargers. Elijah Cansey out of Pittsburgh. They need to fill somebody in the middle bad here, and he's the guy. He's the guy I think that's left on the board to go do that. It's between him and Breezy and maybe somebody else, but Cansey's probably the best available on the interior defensive line. They go get this guy, and that's really all I'm gonna say about it. Cansey's a pretty good fit here in my opinion. 22. You guys see it. You guys are looking. You guys see it. The Chiefs trade up from 31 here. I'm gonna tell you why they do this. The Chiefs have a ton of picks this year, once again, and where's Casey? They're all the way. The Chiefs have a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, 2 4ths, a 5th, 2 6, and 2 7th round picks. Okay, they have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. They have 10 picks. They're gonna get rid of a 4th rounder, maybe a 6th rounder and a 7th rounder. Who knows? They're gonna swap with Baltimore, and they're gonna give them 2 more picks. Is probably what's gonna happen here. Two more picks later. Baltimore has no picks, mind you. They have a 1st, a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th. They have 5 picks this year. The Chiefs have double that. The Chiefs want to trade up. I'm telling you right now. You may not be hearing anything about it. Nobody's probably talking about it. The Chiefs are gonna trade up here. I promise you. I feel really good about them trading up here. They traded up last year. They traded up to get Mahomes a few years back. When this team has picks and they're drafting at the bottom, they like, and especially if they like a guy in the draft. Like they liked McDuffie last year. They went up and got him. They swapped 1st round picks. Baltimore is the trade partner here, I'm telling you, because Baltimore has no picks. They have already, how many trades has Baltimore and Kansas City made over the last like couple of years? They love to trade with each other. I don't know why, it's weird. So they go trade with them again here. They swap 31 and 22. The Chiefs go get the pass rusher that they want, who I think is going to be Will McDonald out of Iowa State. He's a defensive end / outside linebacker. I know it says D end on there, but he's probably more of an outside linebacker. But he's an edge guy. He's basically he plays the same position that Will Anderson for Alabama plays. He's just edge. He's an edge guy. And you know, this is the guy I got them going to take. You know, who knows though? This could be Myles Murphy. This could be I would say it could be Cansey, but I doubt it because Cansey's interior. I think they're going to go after an edge guy. But this could be Murphy. This could be... I wouldn't think it would be the guy from Kansas State, Felix. I don't think it would be Felix. I got Felix. I don't think Kansas City would have to trade up if they wanted Felix. So... But this could be Van Ness maybe even. This could be Van Ness if Van Ness slides. So I'm kind of in between Van Ness, McDonald, Murphy, who you know, it just depends, right? I mean, this is just a mock. We don't know that some of these guys go in some of these spots inside the top 20. But look for the Chiefs to trade up. I'm calling this one right now, okay? I know nobody's talking about it, but look for them to trade up. Especially if there's news of like, oh, Kansas City really likes this guy. Okay? And Baltimore is the trade partner to do it with. They have no picks. They only got 5 this year. They're probably looking to get a couple more and slide back and still get the guy that I have them taking here. So if you can slide back in the draft and still get the guy that maybe you wanted to get in the first place, and then on top of it get an extra 2 extra picks, why wouldn't you do it? You know, my guess is the Chiefs will give them a 4th rounder and a 6th rounder, or a 4th and a 7th, because they have 2 6s, 2 7s. But look for this to happen. Who they take, it's probably it's going to be between the top 2 defensive ends / outside linebackers that are left on the board here. 23 now, Minnesota. Deonte Banks falls right into their lap right here. I could see Hooker going right here. I had Hooker in my last mock draft going to Minnesota. But I think especially maybe if Banks is here, which he is in this case, it's going to be hard for them to pass up on Banks. He had a really good combine. And they desperately need a cornerback. Desperately need a cornerback here. But they also need a quarterback. But maybe they go get somebody like Jake Hayner or something like that later in the draft. But if Hooker is the guy that they want, they will take Hooker right here. If he is the guy that they want and they like him, it would be a good scenario for Hooker. Hooker could sit a year. He's going to end up not being ready probably till like October anyways because of the ACL. But you just sit him behind Cousins. Cousins not a bad guy for him to sit behind. Cousins isn't the greatest quarterback. He's not horrible. You know, I'd like him sitting behind Cousins versus Tannehill, you know, for instance. But Cousins is on his last year. He's on the last year of his deal. And I don't think, maybe they do resign him. Maybe they do. I would be shocked if they did that. I don't think anybody in Minnesota wants Cousins to be their quarterback anymore, especially after this year. If they don't, they don't make the playoffs. If they don't make the
playoffs, don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, Jim. Yeah, you don't ever talk about playoffs with Kirk Cousins. But I'm just telling you, man, the they might go get Hooker here. It wouldn't shock me one bit. But I could also see Banks here. If Banks is there, he's the guy, I think. So, all right, moving on. Jacksonville defensive end Miles Murphy. They got to get somebody to replace Key. This is the guy. If he's there, obviously. You know, McDonald and Murphy, I think you could kind of swap them out a little bit here, but Murphy's the best available at this point, and this is the guy that they go get. They do need a tight end, but I already got Mayer. I got Kincaid already going. So, you know, do they reach for Darnell Washington right here? Maybe. I doubt it. You know, Washington's more of a second round guy in my opinion. But right here they go with Miles Murphy out of Clemson. They get somebody to replace Key, and they got enough weapons on offense right now really that they don't need to go tight end, and which they won't anyways, as long as, you know, if Mayer and Kincaid are not there, I don't see them going that route. So yeah, there's nothing there, you know, there's nothing else to really say here. Miles Murphy's the pick. 25 now, New York Giants. They need a receiver like so bad, and Zay Flowers ends up falling to them here. And he's a really good receiver in my opinion. He might be the best receiver in this draft. I know a lot of people are high on JSN, but this guy might be better than JSN in my opinion. I think we might end up coming back to this, you know, a couple years down the road and be like, yeah, Zay Flowers was the better of the two. But I think both guys will, you know, pending injury, and then, like that, and that's why I say that, like, because with JSN, I kind of worry about injury. But you know, both guys are young. They should make it hopefully throughout the early stages of their career without having injury issues. So, but Zay Flowers is you know, no doubt in my mind, if he's here, New York has to go get a receiver at some point. And if this guy's here, why not take this guy? I know they could use another defensive back, like say Emmanuel Forbes, but they need to get another weapon for that offense, because their whole receiver room has been in the hospital the last 2 years, man. And so, I mean, I think Hodgins is going to be a decent receiver for them, but outside of Hodgins, I mean, yeah, they got Shepard, but Shepard's been dealing with injury. He's getting older now. He's actually old. He's like 29, 30. You look at Slayton. Slayton's not really, you know, anything to brag about. And they just got Waller. They have Waller and Bellinger, and they still got Saquon. So go get another good receiver. Go get Flowers. Go get Flowers if I'm New York. If I'm New York right here, go get Flowers. And just get him and don't turn back, you know. It's an offensive game, man. You know, I'm having these, you know, I'm talking about these receivers. It's either like receiver, tight end, or is it defensive back? Go get the offensive guy. It's an offensive game now. Go get the best offensive guy on the board. 26, Dallas. Dallas, man. I wanted to have these guys trading up, but in this one, I got Bijan being taken by the Eagles at 10. So they have no reason to trade up, and Quentin Johnston is the guy here. Look, I got three receivers going in a row here at 25, 26, 27. Quentin Johnston out of TCU. Big guy. I think, you know, if it's between him and Addison, I just don't see the Cowboys taking Addison. That's why I got Johnston here. Johnston here. Johnston, in my opinion, you know, I'm not really that high on Addison, man. I'm really not. I know he's probably got a much better skill set, but he's a smaller guy, and I just don't know, man. I don't know if he might have issues trying to stay healthy in this league at his size. I like the bigger Johnston better, and I think Dallas goes that route anyways. Dallas is more of a team that likes to kind of go bigger guys. They went and got CeeDee Lamb. They went and got Dez Bryant. Those are all kind of bigger guys. You know, definitely bigger than Addison. And Johnston kind of fits that scenario. And so I think they go get Quentin Johnston. He stays in the state of Texas. And he is becoming a Cowboy, in my opinion, here. 27, Buffalo Bills. Jordan Addison. They also need a receiver bad. He's the best one available at this point. Maybe. I say maybe. You could argue Hyatt. You could argue Jalen Hyatt. I think Hyatt is highly being overlooked going into the second round. But, you know, I think regardless, the Bills go get another receiver here. Diggs is going to be 30 this year. They're not, and you know, the only way I see this changing, and I forgot to hit on this other news, was DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins goes to the Bills, then maybe you scratch this one out. Maybe you scratch out Addison. Maybe they go a different route. Maybe they go get Emmanuel Forbes. Maybe they go get something else. Maybe they go get a defensive lineman or something. Let's see here. You know, maybe you trade this pick back. Maybe you see, maybe Seattle comes up and trades with Buffalo, and Seattle comes up and gets Hooker. I've seen that scenario. I've seen a scenario where Seattle comes up and trades. I could see this being one of their trade partners, but you know, maybe not. I really think if they don't go Addison here because maybe they get Hopkins, they probably go Forbes, which, you know, speaking of Forbes, 28 Cincinnati Bengals, Emmanuel Forbes, there he is. He comes off the board finally. He kind of waits a little bit. This one's a no-brainer. No-brainer. If Forbes is here, he's gone. He's not making it past the Bengals, okay? This is as far as Forbes will fall in the draft. Mark my words. He will not go any later than this pick right here. He might even go before this pick, obviously. I think I had Forbes going... Where did I have Forbes? I had Forbes going to... Where did I have Forbes going to? I think I had Banks going to the Giants in my one. Where did I have Forbes going? Let's check real quick. Where did I have Forbes going? Oh, I had Forbes going early. That's right. I had Forbes going to the Steelers. So, yeah, here though, here he falls a little bit. You know, he falls like what, 11 picks here. That's kind of a little bit of a fall, but I think. And the reason why I have Banks moving up above Forbes, Banks had a better combine, and so I think that's why you see this happening here. I just think Banks moves up on people's list, on teams' list, and that's why Minnesota goes with Banks instead of Forbes. And then Forbes goes, he drops. Really, if Forbes gets to Cincinnati, Cincinnati is also celebrating. Okay, like a lot of these teams. A lot of these teams are celebrating with some of these guys that are falling to them, and you know, they're turning in their card like immediately. So yeah, Forbes is a really good fit for this team. They need this guy badly if he falls. Moving on, 29, Brian Breezy, Clemson. This one's no change from the last mock. I just look. New Orleans needs a defensive interior defensive lineman. Okay, I think that's the route they go. I don't see them going any other route. Breezy you know, he's probably the best available. So some other guys maybe to look out for this would be Mozzie Smith, maybe at a Michigan, and really that's it. You got Mozzie Smith that could maybe go here, you know. Mozzie Smith is out of Michigan. They could go edge instead. They could take Uzomah out of Kansas State, Felix Uzomah. You know, I could see that, but where do they go? Do they go interior or do they go outside? You know what I mean? It's a coin flip. You can't really predict it. You know, they need an offensive lineman, but maybe they wait on that. They're probably going to wait on receiver or tight end. I think it's a no-brainer. It's a defensive lineman here. Whether it's Uzomah, whether it's Breezy, whether it's Mozzie Smith, whether it's you know, the guy from Northwestern, the guy I can't say his name, Adibawar. You know, that's really what I see here. But Breezy is a special talent at his position. He's got speed at his position at a lot. He's got like Chris Jones type of speed out of the nose position. You know, the guy is a freak of nature as far as athleticism goes at his position that a lot of guys don't have, and I just think it's too much for the Saints to pass up on here. If he's there, I think he goes there. I don't think they go Uzomah. I don't think they go Mozzie Smith. I don't think they go any of these other guys, you know, on the defensive line. So moving on to 30. So the Eagles, they got their second pick here. The Eagles. I got them taking Uzomah here. They bolster that defense a little bit. There is a chance they could go offensive lineman here, but I think they go defense, dude. I don't know, man. The only other team I can think of, or the only other guy I can think of that goes here is like Taurus or, you know, maybe Harrison, maybe DeJuan Jones, out of Ohio State, maybe. I think Taurus would be a good fit here. You got Avila at TCU. He could be a good fit as well. I think Taurus would be the better fit. He's a run block, you know, downhill guy, run blocker. This guy just moves guys. I mean, he moves guys. So, but I got Felix Uzomah here. I think something tells me they're just gonna go defense, man. I think they should go offensive lineman because it's an offensive game, but something tells me they're just gonna go defense. They lost Hargrave, even though Hargrave was in the middle. I just think they go kind of maybe get the best defensive lineman on the board, which at this point I think is Uzomah. So, all right, 31, last pick here. Baltimore trading down with Kansas City. They pick up a couple more picks later in the draft, obviously, and then they go get Hendon Hooker here. I think they hedge out on this Lamar Jackson deal. I think they hedge out, man. You know, these reports reportedly about what Lamar had maybe turned down, upwards of, you know, close to 200 million guaranteed, this and that, yada yada. He says it's cap. You know, he says it's basically BS that he wasn't offered that. They've been talking about this the last couple of days in the sports world. So I mean, there's a chance that Hooker could be taken by Minnesota, but I think it would be a good idea for them to take this guy if he's there. You know, they trade down. They get a couple more picks, and they still get this guy. That's being said, you know, albeit that's if Minnesota doesn't take this guy. You know, I can see Minnesota taking this guy, but it's Minnesota or it's Baltimore. The only other team that I could think of would be the Seahawks, maybe trading up into the first round with like the Eagles or somebody and taking Hooker. Somebody's going to trade up though and take Hooker, or somebody's going to move down and take Hooker like this. I think Hooker goes in the first round regardless, because they want that 5th-year option on these QBs. They don't want somebody like him to not have, because that guy is, you know, he's a first-round pick if he's not hurt. Okay, if he didn't get hurt. So somebody takes a chance, either moves up, or in this case, he doesn't get out of the first round for the Ravens. You know, if the Ravens do make this trade with the Chiefs, maybe they are worried about 30. I could maybe see Baltimore. I could see this happening. I could see Baltimore making a trade with the Chiefs, right? Swapping picks, and then turning around and making a trade with the Eagles. Letting the Eagles have the 31st pick, moving up to 30, okay? So that they can still get Hooker without somebody leapfrogging them. Because this is the spot where they could get leapfrogged at 30. This is where you could see Seattle come up and try to get Hooker maybe. Seattle would give up that second round pick and something else to the Eagles and swap for this 30 pick and get Hooker. You know, and that's really one of the most likely scenarios I see. There could be maybe another scenario, but the Seahawks, maybe they go get somebody to sit behind Geno. I know they just gave Geno that contract, but how much do they trust him? He just had a one-off year. Does he do it again? You know, Geno is getting kind of old. How old is Geno? Let me check. Geno's not young. Okay. I think he's like 32 or 33 years old. So he's been in the league for a minute. Let me just double check his age. He's 33. He's going to be 33. That's what I thought. He's 32 right now. He'll be 33 in season. Maybe they use that to, you know, so maybe I could see Baltimore. If Baltimore wants Hooker and they do make this trade with the Chiefs, I think they make the trade regardless, whether or not they want Hooker or not. Maybe they want somebody else. Maybe they don't want a quarterback. But with the way that this Lamar Jackson news is going, who knows? Who knows? Maybe they deal him to Washington. That's another scenario I haven't really laid out yet, but I've talked about it. Maybe he goes to Washington. Maybe Washington gives up that 16th pick, and they give up a future first rounder and everything else, you know. And then maybe Baltimore has the 16th pick in the draft. But I think regardless, the Chiefs are moving up with somebody. I just don't see them not moving up in the draft. The only way they're not moving up in the draft, I guess, is if they have they don't really have their eye on anybody that in particular that they want to go get, and they think they can just stay put. But I think Baltimore hedges out of this Lamar Jackson stuff. If Lamar Jackson doesn't get traded during the draft, which I don't think is going to happen, because Lamar's going to want to weigh his options after the draft is over. It'd be in his best interest to do that. I think Baltimore gets Hooker here, man. They get him for that 5th-year option, and they basically kind of hedge out of their bet. They're hedging out of their bet with Lamar by doing this. And it's one of the smartest things maybe they can do is to get Hooker. So maybe though they do have to trade with the Eagles 30 and 31. Maybe they do have to do that in order to keep somebody like Seattle out of the mix. Seattle could trade up to 30 and get, snag him. So, but it wouldn't cost much for the Ravens and the Eagles though to swap literally one pick. I mean, it's from 31 to 30. It's one spot, and so it wouldn't cost them much. So, well, what, that's 35 minutes or so. We just wrapped up this draft. I think I'm gonna call it on that, guys. And I'm kind of tired. I still got a couple of videos I need to make. I probably would go to sleep and then I'll probably make them in the morning. I do have a couple more videos though, a couple more short videos going over rankings and stuff. I think I'm gonna have the ranking one on Thursday though. Today I'm gonna have the Bijan video, and I'm gonna have the mock draft 1 video. We're gonna have a mock 2, which is, this is gonna be the mock draft 2 video. We're gonna have that probably Friday or Saturday. And yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, or enjoyed this stream or whatever. We went over mock draft 2.0. I apologize for the internet going down. So I got 2 videos, I guess. We did the hour stream. Now we did this one. So I honestly wasn't even going to get back on and do the rest of it, but I seen my internet had just kind of started working back, working again. I don't know what happened. It's weird, dude. Sometimes stuff just doesn't work, but yeah, man, I am super excited about this draft. I'll probably be working. I don't know if I'm gonna do any like stream or anything or live reaction, I mean, I'll be working that night more than likely, but I'll still be able to catch like most, if not all, the picks. I mean, I don't work until 10 o'clock, so the drafts will be kind of near the end of the draft by the time I'm either getting to work or getting ready to clock on. We'll go over it though the next day. We'll do some kind of stream, maybe next Friday morning, and go over everything. Everything that happened and how it affects our fantasy and stuff like that. Bijan is really one of the ones I'm really looking forward to seeing where he goes. Because if it's not the Eagles or the Lions, I'm gonna be so surprised and intrigued, by whoever took him. But yeah, man, I know I haven't streamed a whole lot lately, but I'm gonna try to do another one tomorrow. I shouldn't say tomorrow. I should say like Friday morning. I'm on like, today's my Tuesday, even though it's Wednesday for everybody else, because I work nights. But we still haven't gone over any of the tight ends. We're gonna go over some of the tight ends and their values in the auction league, and probably Friday. I don't want to stream tomorrow because I'm gonna go to bed. Whenever I wake up, I'm gonna try to make a couple more videos. We will make a video going over this mock draft though. It'll probably be about a 30-minute long video ish, and then I'm gonna try to break it down to condense it as much as I can. But it'll be a lot like the other one, basically. We'll put it that way. And then we'll make a short out of it. We'll make a quick short, just like I did with the other one. I'm gonna try to break down some of these things, going over specifically the fantasy stuff. It's a little early to get into some of the fantasy stuff. I mean, I'm already digging into it a little bit. Some of my projections have already changed, and some of my ranks have already changed since the last time we went over them. So, and really, that's why I kind of want to wait for the draft for next week, as far as going over like Stroud and Young, Richardson, Bijan, Gibbs, all these guys. We'll know more. We'll have a better understanding when we know who they play for. We'll be able to dissect it, break it down, be like, okay, this is how much time he'll be sharing with this guy. Okay, maybe this guy's not going to be a starting quarterback right away. So we'll have a better understanding of where they should be going. If Bijan does go to the Lions or goes to, especially the Eagles, I mean, he's going to be pretty scary in fantasy, in my opinion. So, especially in like Dynasty. So yeah, man, we'll go over some of this stuff. You know, Friday. We'll go over some of this stuff Friday as far as the fantasy goes. I'm gonna try to get some more videos put out though. As far as you know, having some for Friday, having some going into next week. And so, yeah, man, I am out of here. We will catch you guys later. If you missed the stream, whoever just jumped in here, I do have 2 videos. I'm gonna have this one and the other stream because my power went out in the middle of the stream or whatever. So, but we just went over my mock 2.0, and we'll go over some fantasy stuff probably later in the week. But I gotta get to bed, man. I am out of here. I am tired. We will catch you guys later. Have a good one.